you can see the beetles have been really working in there, haven't they? And that's feeding the environment.
No, absolutely. And we hear a lot about Britain being in a biodiversity crisis. But farms have a really important part to play in nature recovery. Government has got legally binding nature recovery targets, and if we're going to meet those targets, we have to engage the farming community, because after all, farmland covers over 70% of the British landscape. We can't deliver all our nature recovery targets on nature reserves alone. We have to look at the wider landscape, and that's why where farms working on their own, but also collaboratively across landscapes through farmer clusters and other landscape-wide initiatives, that's going to be vital to bring about that nature recovery that we all need.
But for us as farmers, to get that into our heads and understand the value can be challenging, but also really important. So I think people need to be patient with the farmer and realise that there's a lot for us to learn. And trying our very best to get it right is key.
No, indeed, and often we hear a lot about the conflict between environmental conservation and agriculture. Actually, these two things are not mutually exclusive. You can absolutely do the same together. You can have sustainable farming, growing good crops, producing meat at high welfare standards, etc., alongside nature conservation. You can do both together. And it's really important that we start to demonstrate that.
I think you're right. You know, food farming conservation has to be all under one banner, doesn't it? And that has to come through education as well, people understanding where their food comes from, what's going on in the rural domain. But also, you know, health and well-being. You know, mental health is a big thing, and walking around with you, you know, hearing you telling me about all the lovely things that are going on around us, you know, lifts the spirit, doesn't it? And we all need to get out and be part of it.
No, I think being outside in the fresh air for half an hour or an hour, that's what certainly does it for me.
It's definitely a thing, isn't it?
Mental health and well-being, it's being outside.